All right, let's see. Good, good. Here we go. Sooner or later, I need to talk about it. Thanks to one person, two people, we do have to talk about this. We'll actually have it right here versus just it's somewhere. So, The Last of Us Part 2. Many people dislike it. You have good reason for it. Many of you like it. I don't know why. Seriously, I kind of don't know why. So, here's just my thoughts about it, period. It's crazy that it's called Last of Us Part 2 and not Last of Us 2. There should be a difference. Last of Us Part 2 and Last of Us 2. They didn't give us Last of Us 2, they gave us Last of Us Part 2. Maybe some kind of cinematic like dealy, which I'm like, it's kind of messed up. And you basically had two games in one. I'm like, you could have just did a spin-off and then gave us Last of Us Part 2. Or Last of Us 2. Because you just put two freaking things in there. You got Abby's story, and then you have Ellie's story. Ellie's story is more important than Abby's, but Abby set up Last of Us Part 2, basically, or Ellie's story, basically, which I'm like, you should have just went with Abby's story and gave you a spin-off video game and just allow them to be like, oh, so this is how it feels to be part of Fireflies. Huh, this is interesting. You're like, just stuff like that. That would be cool. The opposite side, more exploring the world, getting an understanding of the other side of the story, that makes sense. And then, of course, you'll have Joel, and you're like, oh, because you'll start the blow. You'll start the targeted blow of, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Because it's like, yeah, it's like, at least the good news, you won't be blindsided because this video game goes all the way up to Joe's death. So they're like, yeah, we're planning, we're gonna go get him, and then that's when they cut the black. And you're like, oh my gosh, they're gonna kill Joel. So at least the good news that you know that they're gonna kill Joel versus all the lies that they did in the trailers saying that Joel will be. I think they actually talked about it saying Joel will be in all of this video. Joel's gonna be in the whole entire video game. Don't worry, guys. To wow, you just backstab, hardcore backstab, really hardcore backstab. So I wish you would have just done that idea, and then you get Last of Us 2, the actual Last of Us 2 with Ellie's story, so you don't have to put a lot of stuff into one video game, which that was the other messed up part. Maybe people didn't want to play as Abby, but if you would have actually made it a spin-off and did it before this game, then they'll be like, Abby, okay, we're playing as Abby? Guess we're gonna understand who Abby is, and then as soon as you find out, you're like, oh. One reason why I dislike the game is because Abby got race swapped. They did a red con. And I'm like, you can't do a red con here. If Joe, the doctor who was going to do the freaking surgery is black, I'm sorry, but Abby's gonna have to be black. It's either that or do the coolest thing ever that I just thought of want to be adopted because Joel technically adopted Ellie, so that doctor technically adopted Abby. That makes a much more stable like thing versus his biological father, because her biological father. Yeah, that's a good similarity there. It's like Joel and Ellie is like biological. It's like, no, they're not. No, they're not. So you basically just already made a difference in this whole entire thing. You should just allow her to stay be not black. Allow her to just be adopted by this black freaking doctor. The end. That works out nicely. That would make much more sense than what you did here, which is, and I think in the remake they did change him white. They actually in the remake did actually make the doctor white. So there you go. It's fixed. But of course, if you played on PlayStation 3 version, you'll know for a fact that, oh no, the freaking doctor was black. Abby should have been black. He should have been black. She should have been black. Would it change anything? Hell no. But at least the good news is that you did something and you stuck with it versus, oh no, but we want her to be white so they could be just like each other. And it's like, color shouldn't be the real thing that you're trying to measure here. Just because they're the same ethnicity don't mean jack spit. Because you already still made them messed up. Because biological father, biological child, stepfather, stepdaughter. There's a kind of a disconnect here, guys. I hope you notice that. So yeah, of course, the lesbian bull crap. That also was like, what the fuck? But apparently, the DLC they already showed that Ellie actually was that way, and it's like, yeah, well, you got me freaking punched in the freaking face for that, guys. It's like, really? It's like you sucker punched me real hard on that. I'm like, dude, we're really doing this? It's like, do we really have to do it? Who gave them the idea of doing this? It's like, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. But it's like, yeah, that's also part of it, but more the part of where it's like you freaking change the freaking skin color and ethnicity of the doctor. That's the real messed up part for me. It's like if you guys were tried and true, should have already just made the doctor freaking white for the first place. Versus you changed the doctor in this part two and in the re-release of PlayStation 4. They changed the freaking doctor's ethnicity. But it's like, oh, so you made a big mistake, huh? It's like it's kind of crazy where it's like, so you didn't check the ethnicity of the doctor beforehand, guys. What the frick? What the freak? What the freak? But yeah, it's like all of that happened could have been somewhat softened if you just allowed them to do the following. And at least you gave them flashbacks, which I'm like, yeah, for extra stuff that you should have done, is how about you just say the spinoff dealt with Abby when she found out her dad was killed, all the way up to we're gonna plan to take down Joel, and we found out where Joel is. For the the video game that would be Last of Us Part Two or whatever you want to call it, I'll just say Last of Us Two, the real one. It would show Ellie and Joel during the years, speeding the process going all the way up to now, where it's the barn dance. And then as soon as the barn dance happened, then we get into the part of where it's like, oh my gosh, it's just like the other game, the other game. Oh my gosh, the other game. It's like, yep, the other game. But one other thing is just the fact of where it's like they did change Joel a little bit, made him a little bit softer, and it's like, then shouldn't he have gotten killed by those zombies then if he's softer? It's like he shouldn't have been trusting like that. That's another thing. Is like you kind of wrote about a character. It's like, again, if you would have just done it like this, where you give us a spinoff, we learn about Abby and everything, and no one's gonna be hating on her. Then we get to the part of where it's like, okay, you'll show the speed of, Joel and Ellie, and then show how he just got softer and softer and softer during the years, perhaps a little bit more trusting. Then you'll be able to understand that, oh, that's why Joel went down. It's like, yeah, it's like Joel is not what he used to be, and dang, he's gone. I think that would have fixed it a little bit better than what's going on here. It was like you just made one game that is long as hell, and then you switch back and forth between the characters, which is like, yeah, that's pretty bad. That's pretty bad. Pretty bad what you're doing here. So what's the hope for Last of Us Part 3? It's like, I don't know. It's like I can tell you, I don't know. I've been out. The first game was good. I saw the HBO version of it. That was good too. Did I see the second season? No, of course not. So kids like I'm never gonna own Last of Us Part Two, and again, all I can say is that you just fumbled the ball. You should have prepared them for what you're about to do. If you would have done that, pretty sure things will be a little bit better. Not a lot, not a decent amount of better, but it will be better enough to where it's like you lessened the blow of what you did. Even though many people wanted to play with Joel more, which I'm like, I just mentioned the fact of allowing it during the years where like you just have some chapters where it's like Ellie's birthday and teaching how to hunt and dot dot dot, all that stuff. That'll be fine times with freaking Joel and Ellie, just allow that to be it, versus you do have flashbacks, but you put flashbacks like later because I think you knew that, oh, yeah, we did say you'll be playing with Joel a little bit more. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to put in flashbacks. And it's like, wow, just wow. Anyways, that's all I wanted to say. It's Last was part two. I really wasn't going to be a part of it. They could have done it better, like I mentioned. If they would have done it this way, at least it would be less of a blow. And I might have been interested in playing it because I'm like, oh, there's a different style, huh? So it's like you got Abby, you have the Fireflies, you get to be a Firefly and see how their world works. I think that would have been an interesting experience. But instead, no. I mean, you kind of see what they do, but not truthfully. So, either way.